friends, it's Jennifer from Live, Laugh, Love to Read. And today we're going to talk about the two books that I just finished. The first one is Cathy Lamb, The Man She Married. I gave this book a 4. And I think I talked about this the other day in one of my videos and said I was reading it. And I finished it, and I also read another book since then. So this book follows Natalie Shelton. And Natalie is in a coma. She got hit by a van. And so she's in a coma. And the weird thing is she can hear all the stuff going on around her. She can hear the doctors talking about her. She can hear her dad singing all of her favorite childhood songs and everything. She can hear her husband. And the things that she's hearing is that there's something going on with her husband. And what you know in the very beginning of the book is that her husband is actually going by a different name than what his real name is. And so he tells her that, and he tells her, we got to run because there's this guy trying to kill me, and he's going to try to kill both of us, so we got to run. Well, when she does leave the house, she leaves by herself in her van because she's like, doesn't believe a word he says. She's all mad. Well, she gets hit by a van, and she is in this coma. Well, she does wake up from the coma after like 4 weeks, and she doesn't remember that morning. So, but she knows something's going on because she had heard her husband on the phone when she was in the coma, and she could hear different things about, him being mad and stuff at, somebody. So she knows something's going on. So, and she also has 2 near-death experiences in this book, which I found pretty interesting. One of them was with her grandma, and she basically tells her it's not time for you to go. So she pushes her really hard back into her body and says, it's not your time to go. And which I thought that was pretty interesting. Natalie goes to a rehab and for brain injury patients, and meets a man who she calls Architect. There's a man there who they call Soldier, a woman who they call Frog Lady. And the reason they call these people that, they've all have brain injuries. And so the Frog Lady makes ceramic frogs and paints them every day, all day. The Architect makes all kinds of buildings out of like paper and popsicle sticks and such. And then the Soldier, he draws pictures of fairy tales for his grandma, but they're actually pictures of war because he's a soldier from, I want to say, Afghanistan. And the Architect one is, he actually fell from the top of a building when he was out building, and he fell. And then the lady, the frog, I think she was a psychiatrist. I think she was a doctor or an archaeologist. I can't remember which one. But anyway, they all have brain injuries. Well, while Natalie is in the rehab hospital, she starts making necklaces. And actually, she used to make necklaces with her best friends, too, back in junior high. Well, now she's started doing it again. And actually, she's an accountant, and that's what she does for a living, but she can't do it anymore. So, the reason I gave this book a 4 was because Cathy Lamb's books, they all have the same kind of characters in it. The women are there's always one in there that's like, gun-toting, sailor-cussing, strong-willed woman, which is good. I mean, I like that kind of thing, but not every book. So the characters are kind of starting to run together in my head. Like, I know she did that in some of her other books, but they're starting to kind of run together. So that's why I gave it a 4. And the other book that I just finished was Mary Kay Andrews' Sunset Beach. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can see that. I read that on my Kindle. And this was really good. This follows Drew Campbell, D-R-U-E, and she's 36 years old, and she lives in Florida. And her mother dies and leaves her her beach cottage in the other side of Florida. And so she moves there because she doesn't have any money, she doesn't have a job or whatever. And she moves there, and she actually goes to work for her dad, who's a lawyer named Bryce. So she's working in the pod where the phone calls come in. Excuse me. The phone calls come in that they field the phone calls so that to see if it's a viable case that the lawyer would actually want to try, you know. Well, she comes across this one case, and it's her name is Jasmine, and she was killed at a hotel, actually it's right on the beach, right by Drew's cottage. And the lawyer's office that she works at, which is her dad, they try the case, and they try to sue the hotel for wrongful death because the grandma is raising Jasmine's daughter. Well, they end up only getting $150,000 because the hotel proves that Jasmine was still on the clock. So they said it was workman's comp. So, but Drew digs a little deeper, and she starts seeing like discrepancies and such. And she's like, I don't know about this, you know. Well, she starts getting really close to the little girl. Her name is Aliyah. And she wants to dig deeper into this case and see if they can get her mother more money, basically, to help raise Aliyah. And then there's some other stories in there, backstories of, there's another story about someone named Colleen Hoover, who has been missing since 1976. And Drew comes across a file, like a police file, about her up in the attic. And that she also finds some other like news clippings about it. And she's like, why is this up here? You know. So she asked her dad about it, and he's like, yeah, I knew her, but I don't know anything about her disappearance or anything. Or does he? So anyway, Drew becomes quite the investigator and starts investigating these stories, and then she becomes friends with the police chief, which is a woman named Ray, R-A-E, and yeah, so that's basically what the story is about. I don't want to tell too much because I don't want to give it away, but I gave this a 4, and there it is again. Hopefully you can see that. There it is. I gave this a 4. Like I said, oh, that's thunder. It's storming here today in Oklahoma. Like I said, I really enjoy Mary Kay Andrews' books, and I gave this one a 4. So yeah, those are the 2 books that I just finished, and I think that's going to be it for today. If you haven't watched my other videos, how about giving this video a like, and you could hit the subscribe button. Also, I have another channel where I read children's books, and it's called Read Along with Aunt Minnie. So if you have little ones, head over there because they would really enjoy the books that I read over there. I have over 700 videos over on my other channel. So, okay, I think that's it for today. Thanks, guys.